So how did I make 5 figures a month at 17 years old and then go on to literally lose everything, so that maybe if you're in my same situation, you can avoid all my stupid and immature mistakes, right? So first of all, I know you do not know me at all. My name is Judde Patton. I've made a lot of stupid decisions, but I run a service-based business for agency owners specifically, where we build out their entire acquisition systems, their sales systems, etc. Enough about all that. I know you're not here for that. Let me take you back just a quick second. I'll make this super quick. I was a 16-year-old kid in high school. I wanted to make money online like everybody else, right? I had no idea how to do so. I had no idea how to make money. I never wanted to work a job. I had never worked a job. And I kind of just wanted to live life on my own accord. I wanted to have freedom. I did not want to listen to a single soul on planet Earth. Listening to a teacher tell me what to do was the worst, hardest thing ever. I mean, literally, I didn't think you should have to ask to go to use the bathroom. That's something everyone should just naturally be able to get up and go do on their own accord. And so just being told what to do just didn't sit right with me. I never wanted to live life for somebody else. I never wanted to make somebody rich while I'm just slaving away all day, right? And so I started by doing what everybody does, which is researching Amazon FBA, drop shipping, real estate wholesaling. And finally, I was blessed with an SMMA video on YouTube. And that's pretty much when everything started, right? So I started by sending cold emails, trying to book a ton of sales calls. And actually, during this time of sending cold emails, I never booked a single sales call. I was actually getting a ton of horrible replies to my cold emails. They were absolutely terrible, and it was not good. And so, taking a little tangent, looking back, it's really easy to recognize the old mistakes you've made, everything, you could have done better. But it's really important, and I think about this all the time, you genuinely can't compare yourself to anyone, like someone else's journey, because everybody is born in a different spot. Everybody, as much as people want to say, your life is your responsibility, it absolutely is your responsibility, but not everything's your fault. You have different characteristics, different personality traits, a different childhood, a different upbringing. It is your responsibility, but you really just need to play on your strengths as much as you can, and improve your weaknesses as much as you can. But anyways, what does a late 16 to 17-year-old kid do when he's getting a ton of negative replies, 0 booked calls after sending probably anywhere from 300 to 500 plus cold emails? And I'll tell you, it's definitely not look at what's not working, see where everything's dropping off, send a ton more volume and track things properly. It was, let's pick up the phone. Let's cold call instead, right? That's a great idea. We're not working. Cold emails don't work. Let's cold call. The natural thing when one outreach system isn't working, go to a next, even though in the future, the next one, you're obviously going to have trouble with again, and you'll just keep going through the same situation, right? So, there I am in my room. I'm cold calling roofers during my summer break, making anywhere between 50 to 200 cold calls every single day. And it actually worked pretty well. This was the first outreach system that I kind of had a little bit of results with. And I kind of recommend it to any beginner. It's not that thing where you start and you're going to make a ton of money or book a ton of appointments. It's that thing that's just going to kind of get your foot in the door. And you're going to start getting good at sales, start getting good at talking to people. And to be honest, I was probably booking anywhere between 1 to 2 appointments on average every day. But some days we'd even book up to anywhere between 5 or 7 even. But as you can imagine, I couldn't close a deal for the life of me. So I didn't know how to increase show up rate. I didn't know how to increase close rate. I was honestly just copying a sales script and pitch deck from an old SMMA program, right? I had kind of Frankenstein a couple different pieces, the script from an old program, and then the pitch deck from a little bit more of a newer person who had been running an agency that was like mine. And so things weren't working, right? But this is actually when things kind of changed. So I paid for a program I couldn't afford. I had to literally make the money back, or I was not going to be able to pay for the rest of the program. And so I was all the way in. I was like, I'm going to learn whatever I need to learn and do whatever I need to do to make it work. My back was kind of against the wall, and it didn't quite work how I wanted it. And, I had downgraded. What I ended up doing was downgrading my Go High Level subscription. I was paying way too much for Go High Level, and I wasn't even using it because I had no clients. And I turned on some ads at $20 a day. And so I was getting leads in, and I didn't have to cold call anymore. It was awesome. I was on top of the world, right? But I would also get in my own way again. And it's funny looking back at how immature and stupid I was. But when you buy or invest in yourself and you're a beginner, you really just have to be expecting to get your foot in the door, not necessarily to become a millionaire overnight or make 100K a month overnight. You want to be getting your foot in the door, because if you're a beginner and you're finally investing in yourself, or you buy something, you need to extend your time horizon. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 plus years before you even start making money from it. And so yeah, you hear people say all the time, it's going to happen, it's going to take longer than you expect. But like, what does it mean? You know, when you say it, do you mean when you finally become successful, or like when you finally make a lot of money, as if you're just magically going to wake up with everything you want one day? But the biggest thing I think I had to realize was, you know, it never just happens. You're never going to wake up one day with it. The thing you want is slowly going to come into your life through the, you know, the boring execution of the same tasks every single day. It's repetition. And the only way that you can do those tasks is by realizing that you have to become the person who has it, whatever that is that you want, in the present moment today. But, you know, a couple years back, I had no idea about this. I didn't know even what that was. I didn't have the right mindset. And I turned the ads on, and I had a very bad sales process. Started taking sales calls again, right? But this time, these leads were actually warm. They came to me, but I still didn't even, I didn't even close deals until I'd probably spent 1,500 plus in ads. But this is when things kind of took a turn, right? I went through a rough breakup. Things started happening in my life that made me start taking it a little bit more serious. Things just happened, and I started to be a little bit more serious about my life, right? I was taking sales calls at school. My teacher had a little small back room that he would let me take sales calls in during the class. And so I'd sit back there and I'd take my sales calls, and that's how it was. And within a week, I actually ended up closing 3 clients, and our offer was 2.5K up front, 2.5K after the first deal, and then 10% of every deal that we bring them after the initial payment, of course. And to be honest, it was pretty scary. Like, the initial stress of not knowing if this is actually going to work out, or if this is something your life is going to actually be like, and this is something you're going to be able to do with your life, that initial stress was gone. But that initial stress was kind of what drove you in the first place. So it's important you still keep that drive. And honestly, I still, despite this overwhelming, like all at once, when it rains, it pours, you know what I mean? Despite all that, I still had no idea what I was doing. I thought, you know, I'm building a real business here, but all I was doing was still playing games. Like, it wasn't real to me. It wasn't tangible. That I was still immature, and I ended up neglecting fulfillment super bad. And I lost all my clients because of the fulfillment. I hired the wrong person, but more than, you know, hiring the wrong person, I was just the wrong person. And this isn't like a 1 in a million type of story. It happens all the time, every single day. It's normal. I guarantee a lot of people watching this or have gone through the same exact thing, or are going through the same thing. And I hope that you don't make my same mistakes. But going through something like this is not what makes you a failure. It's what you do when this stuff happens that actually matters. Are you going to stick with it? Are you going to go through it and actually get better? Are you going to keep going and learn and improve and prove everybody wrong? Or are you going to change up the strategy? Or are you going to pivot? Are you going to go to like another outreach strategy? Or are you going to go to another market, another industry? It's different per person when they finally make that decision to finally like take things seriously and actually stick to something. But that's what you have to do, is stick to something and take it seriously. But there was obviously a huge mistake I made, and I realize it now, right? Building a service-based business is about service. It's about giving to other people, actually doing good work for them. That's what this business is about. And if you're not prepared to do so, you should leave the business now. You shouldn't be running your business. If you cannot sit down for, 8 to 12 hours a day doing like really boring things you don't feel like are making you money or moving the needle at all, but they're bringing your clients better results, you're just not ready to run a business. That's what this is about, giving good results to good people. And I honestly had no right to even charge what I charged with how I was operating my business in the past. And that's just the truth. I tried to go from 0 to 10. You cannot go from 0 to 10. You have to go from 0 to 1, and it's better that way. And 1 is the hardest place to get to, but it's a prerequisite to even get to step 10. And then after you get to step 1, maybe you can move a little bit quicker from there. But I had to realize, it's time to stop planning. It's time to stop waiting for things to happen or waiting for a good opportunity to come. And it's just time to start doing things, no matter what doing things means. Whether it's doing outreach every single day at the same time, whether it's living by my calendar every single day and making sure that I only do what's on my calendar. And if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done. I had to start taking things seriously. I had to fall in love with the boring stuff every single day and do whatever it takes. And so today, I hope you can take away something from my story and the dumb decisions and immaturity that I have, so that at least you can take your business and your life seriously. But, if you have made my mistakes and some of the similar ones and you can't relate to me, then just keep going, keep learning, and do better next time. Don't change the strategy. Don't go to a different industry and try to figure things out there, because things will get difficult again. I promise you, they will get difficult again, and you'll have to get past that hump. And pivoting or switching is just going to set you back another however many months it takes you to figure out this lesson. And so just stick with the same thing, get better at it, and improve and do it next time. Do not switch, do not change, do not pivot. Keep going. But anyways, I hope this helped, and hopefully you can relate to me or learn maybe in some way, shape, or form. I don't know everything. But yeah, Have a great day. Peace.